Hello, Uganda and beyond. It is UBC Lunchtime News, and I am Brian Tumwine Biaruhanga. Parents of baby Raiden Hamba Emmanuel, a 4-month-old baby residing in Weyogerere Chirinya, are urgently seeking for financial aid to help finance a heart surgery for their baby in India. At birth, baby Raiden was diagnosed with a congenital heart defect manifesting with 2 holes on the heart. UBC spoke to Natasha Bira, baby Raiden's mother.
Benalinga nkola antenatal. Tebangamba oba omwana alina obuzibu, bangamba omwana ali fine, talina buzibu bwonna, buli kimu kiri fine. Naye I was surprised bwe namuzaala nga bagamba omwana tassa bulungi. So ne bagamba wayitawo ekiseera tumutwale ku Heart Institute e Mulago. Omutima gwe teguli bulungi. Kati we wayitawo ebbanga nga weza myezi 2 ne tugenda e Mulago ku Heart Institute we batuwa amawulire ng'omwana alina obuzibu ku mutima, alina ebituli 2, then omutima gwe teguli mu position entuufu. Tetwakoma okwo, ne tubeera awo nga bwe tusaba, ne tubeera awo ne tuddamu ne tumuzaayo for the review, ne tumutwalako ku Roswell era sikaani n'esoma kyekimu. So byebyo baganda baffe, tusaba ku buyambi kubanga sente ze batugamba okumutwala India tetuzirina. Nga bwe mundaba ezo sente sikwatangako yadde obukadde 10, ate obukadde omutwalo bukadde obulinganga 8 ku 75. Tetulina we tusobola kubujja. Era tusaba muzira kisa yenna ali eyo. Bonna bazadde bannange, obulumi bwentimu nga ndaba omwana wange. Kale ono omwana bw'oba omulabye talabika bubi nga balwadde, naye era ng'ekituufu kyekyo.
Welcome back from that story. The Muljabai Madhavan Foundation has announced a 750 million scholarship fund for the 2025-26 academic year. And speaking at the foundation's headquarters in Bogolobi, Chairperson Gerard Senda emphasized the program's alignment with Uganda's national priority to strengthen science education. He urged alumni to form innovative bodies to enhance the fund's effectiveness and sustainability. Since its inception in 2003, the foundation has supported over 2,800 pursuing undergraduate and postgraduate and diploma studies across various Ugandan universities in priority fields for sponsorship, which include agriculture, engineering, medicine, information technology, and environmental studies, chose for critical role in driving Uganda's socio-economic development. We have the details.
Yes, so we had some...
We've gone deeper to choose some of the areas that possibly may have not come out or may not come out clearly when you are talking of science, and say veterinary medicine, and say we are looking at food and food science. We then go look at the human medicine. These are all the important areas on which you need to have people supported interest, if you are looking at the progress and the future of this nation on the one hand. Is the 750 covering the continuation? The point is, once you apply and we give you a scholarship, we see you through to the degree.
What happens is each year we are given money by the board, and for example this year we've been given 750 million. Now that 750 million is supposed to cover the academic year 2025-2026. That means only students who have been selected within this academic year are the ones who will benefit from that 750 million. Meanwhile, we also have students who benefited last year, that is 2024-2025. So those students who benefited last year, they also have their money that is still running. We also monitor their performance because we are not going to sponsor students who are failing in class. So many times we look at their performance in order to renew their scholarship. One of the scenarios we've taken students out of the scholarship, except failing, is forgery of academic documents. Yes, so we had some students forging academic documents results, because before we release the money, we need to see your performance. So some students would go and doctor those documents. Then when they bring to us and we get to know, then we would discontinue them from the scholarship.
Uganda's hospitality is renowned for its vibrance on the international stage. However, to sustain and elevate this reputation, skilling service providers such as bartenders and bar staff is essential. Against this backdrop, the Diego Bar Academy is making a strong comeback. The program aims to equip 1,650 individuals with vital skills, driving career growth, enhance guest experience, and improving job retention rates. Dennis Sigoa has the details.
We have quite a number of tourists in the country, and one of the things they look most forward to is having a good experience. And for an experience to be amazing in a country, first is of course the tourist attractions, which is what we have in abundance. But while you're in those spaces, you want to have a good meal, you want to have a good drink. And what we are doing on our part is training as many bar staff as possible to ensure that we've covered you when it comes to a good drink, how it's served, how it's enjoyed, and a bit of brand knowledge on those drinks. So yes, we do this training in partnership with bars, with restaurants, with hotels, spaces like that. So what we're doing is helping them upskill their teams within those spaces. So if you work with a bar with any of those spaces, that's the number one qualification. We do not go into, of course, the key one is be above 18. Yeah, if you're above 18, you work in these spaces, then we'll work with you.
So many ladies are working in bars with no knowledge. Yeah, that's why I'm here, so that we get out there and actually teach them what to expect when you're in this industry, because way back, I can say up to now, we ladies, when you work in the bar, there's a way they look at you. You get the community out there tend to look at you like, but the truth is there is life in the bar. We can do it better.
Every bartender is there for the customer. So the customer service you're offering to the customer, and as Diageo Bar Academy, those are one of our cores that we are looking at. Customer engagement. So we upskilling the bartenders in customer engagement, specifically responsible drinking and essential skills of mixology. So those three cores will make one a very good bartender.
Uganda Revenue Authority projects to collect 36.71 trillion shillings in the 2025-2026 financial year. While presenting the ministerial policy statement in the Committee on Finance, the Minister of State for Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, said government expects to collect not less than what they collected last year. He emphasized that revenue collection is projected to match or exceed the previous year's figures based on what assumption that the economy will continue to grow. Farida Namfuka has the details.
Minister of Finance has presented the Ministerial Policy Statement for Financial Year 2025-26 to Parliamentary Committee of Finance that indicates total domestic revenue projections to be 35.692 trillion shillings. This represents a growth in revenue target of 4.323 trillion shillings, indicating 13.78%.
You'll see that there has been increased resources allocated to the activity of tax education and awareness, because we believe this is a critical gap that must be filled to improve compliance, public outreach, and client support initiatives.
Members of Parliament wanted the team to give them assurance that the budget they are giving is based on proper assumptions.
Because I would have expected you to give us some highlights in terms of the policy measures that you set last year and how they have performed, so that it gives us an indicator of why you are expecting a revenue growth of 4.3 trillion.
Growth in revenue target by 13.7. Kindly clarify to us the fundamental issue that brings the growth to that. What is so different that you're going to do this year to raise the target by 13.7?
In financial year 24-25, our projection was 31.9 trillion. There is an assumption that in financial year 25-26, we shall correct not less than what we corrected.
Some wanted responses on enforcement and compliance in cases where a shop is shared by many people.
But some people are complaining that the URA, once they say stock, even if you are many, say no, this is, you are the owner of the shop, they use an assessment. How do you manage group stocks?
There's a lot lacking on tax education, because recently I was with some investors. Actually, for them, they even don't know when to object if there are issues to do with URA. They don't know when to appeal. It means that there's a lot lacking. You need to do a lot.
A whole 40 billion for systems upgrade, support maintenance services for efficient revenue mobilization. And given the controversy you've had on EFRIS, I'm wondering whether this now will include EFRIS, or whether you are budgeting for that.
The chairperson of the committee, Amos Kankunda, wanted officials to explain to the committee efforts done to ensure traders understand what EFRIS is, because many still think it is a tax.
Revenue through interventions like EFRIS and the rest have been failing. You think that therefore now with the awareness and other interventions, something can be done. Out there, we find that some of the traders are not aware. They think IFRIS is a tax, and we are surprised because we know it is not.
The last 10 months, we've not been enforcing IFRIS, but we've concentrated, following the traders' strike, we've concentrated on sensitization and educating the taxpayers the benefit of IFRIS. Interestingly, we have noted improved voluntary registration on IFRIS by way of numbers registering, meaning that the message and the benefits is beginning to yield.
Mosasi's explained to the committee the assumptions they have that revenue will increase by 13% financial year 2025-26.
That the tax measures, like we've stated, we have already presented in Parliament, the bills which we have presented will bring new resources, which are also built in. Then we assume that as URA continues to improve, the efficiency in tax administration will also give us additional revenue.
Others discussed include taxing all exports and how porous borders are being handled. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
report. In more news, Deputy IGG Dr. Patricia Achan has urged leaders in the health sector to take a stand against the rising cases of corruption in the healthcare system. She says the Inspectorate of Government is prepared to arrest those involved and ensure they face the full force of the law. Dr. Achan made these remarks while opening the 3rd National Health Professionals Education, Training and Healthcare Conference at Source of Nile Hotel in Jinja. We have the details.
Somebody for bad behavior, you have been known for taking bribes or mistreating patients or absenteeism, then basically we have to take action and put you out so that people with values and integrity can take up those positions, which is very, very important. And there are lessons for many to learn from that, because if they see that someone is getting interdicted for mischief or misconduct, then it is also deterrent. They will not be able to do that. And please remember the action in Masaka Hospital, and even the president pronounced himself over the cases of Masaka Hospital where people are not attending to duty. Hospital drugs after the medical stores has delivered 4 cycles within a week is done, meaning that it's all stolen away and taken, and patients are like
Jinja. We are conducting a conference for health professional education, training and care. And this conference brings on board clinicians that work in the hospital, principals of health training institutions, tutors, health tutors, students, and policymakers. People will become more healthier, the children will grow, they will go to school, they will be fed very well when the health outcomes improve. And of course, when everybody is healthy, then we will be able to work and the economy will improve.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces UPDF deployed troops in Bunia, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, to stabilize the city and surrounding areas, ensuring the safety of civilians and protecting them from armed groups. This was an initiative to restore peace and security. Our reporter has updates highlighting the UPDF's effort to restore stability in the troubled region.
Uganda People's Defense Forces UPDF made a significant move and deployed its forces in Bunia, the capital of Ituri province, in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The deployment is part of its ongoing efforts to stabilize the region and eliminate the threat posed by the Allied Democratic Forces ADF and other militia groups in Eastern DRC.
Our presence in Congo is because of a bilateral arrangement between the government of Uganda and the government of DRC. It had several mandates. Number one was to fight the ADF terrorist group in that region. Number two was to facilitate infrastructure development between the two countries. Roads, there are several roads there, and one of the things our forces have been doing was to guard the road construction companies and their machines.
The UPDF's deployment in Ituri is part of Operation Suja, a joint military offensive launched in November 2021 in collaboration with Congolese Army, FARDC.
ADF has been greatly weakened as we speak, but there are also many other smaller and violent armed groups which have been killing people, especially in Ituri province. For instance, the Kodeko militia, the Rendo, it has been killing people in all those areas.
The joint military operation with the Congolese Army FARDC has been successful in targeting key militia strongholds in North Kivu and Ituri provinces, forcing many of its fighters to retreat deeper into the jungles.
People are displaced, people are killed. They cannot settle down to do any meaningful business for themselves, and nobody cares except UPDF now. which has given them that hope.
The UPDF's presence in Bunia is expected to reinforce the joint forces, blocking forces in the area, preventing the ADF from regrouping and launching further attacks.
So if ADF is completely destroyed, which it is about to be, there are still many other challenges. So we will continue engaging with the government of DRC from time to time until we make sure that all the pressing problems around our region have been solved.
The presence of Ugandan troops is expected to deter armed groups from operating in the area, protect civilians from violence and intimidation, support the Congolese army FARDC in their efforts to secure the region and facilitate humanitarian access to affected populations. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Thank you, Haruna Mtesasira, for that report. Now, in more news, State Minister for Investment and Privatization Evelyn Anite has challenged National Housing and Corporation to partner with private entities to address the housing deficit in Uganda. The call follows a recent National Housing and Population Census showing a shortfall of 2 million people in the country's housing situation. Minister Anite was touring Milembe Villas, a housing project in Kigo by Gwoji, Uganda. Henry Okrut has the details.
In 2016, there was a plan and design with artistic impressions which have started bearing fruits. Milembe Villas housing estate was made possible with availability of land purchased from Buganda Kingdom to provide moderately affordable housing.
We are not capable of immediately building up 1 million or something, but even with like altogether hundreds of units, you can somehow, contribute what we can do. So that is, I think, point one. We are literally helping to provide more housing units to the market to help, let's say, to help tackle the house shortage.
Today, 50 out of 70 acres of land acquired are already developed. Hundreds of housing units, ranging from bungalows, villas and apartments, have been built and occupied.
The prices differ because of different house topology. Let's say for the apartment, it goes around $80,000, and most bungalows go around $100,000. Here, we give our buyers 2 to 3 years payment period, and we don't charge interest. So that's why people can still afford, because you can pay slowly. That's one benefit to the buyers. And the second benefit is we allow the buyers to shift into their house before they pay 100%.
State Minister for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, visited the estates.
Now, when I drove in, and I'm like, oh, am I in Canada or am I in Europe? Because this is how well organized developed countries put their housing estates. Now, this is so happy that it is, I'm so happy that this is happening in Uganda, my country, because this is all that we desire for our country. So if we keep on encouraging Ugandans to go into this sector and get well organized and learn from here, from investors like Wendy, who's come all the way from China and done this project, this is so good.
As she toured the establishment, Anita saw the need for National Housing to partner with such developers.
We have to go to proper housing estates and proper planning like the Milembe Villas have done. And I know that National Housing has got land that is available, and we're attracting FDI and also encouraging Ugandans to go there to be able to partner with National Housing. And we build these houses for our citizens, because our citizens, for sure, they need proper and decent housing.
This has been answered in affirmative.
The partnerships are critical, and as National Housing, we're also looking to partner with other developers because...
And we come back with more news.